And then one day, they're yelling, push, and you're in pain. And then one day, it comes out, a beautiful baby boy. To God be the glory. Congratulations to every mama out there. You're doing a great job. In case no one's told you that, you're doing a great job.
Nicki Minaj being abused by her husband, Kenneth Petty.
Congratulations to every mama out there. You're doing a great job. In case no one's told you that, you're doing a great job.
So there's something seriously going on with Nicki Minaj. Now, in my opinion, I do believe that Nicki Minaj is going through it with her husband. Now, as someone who basically, not me, but she came out a while back and she said that she actually witnessed her mother being abused by her father. So for someone who grew up in a household who
Nicki Minaj being abused by her husband, Kenneth Petty.
All jokes aside, this has been a thought of mine for a while now. The only reason I say that is simply because that woman should have a PR team. She should have friends and people backing her up, letting her know, like, hey, it's not the right thing to do. Furthermore, it's her husband. He should have her back and tell her, hey, it's not the right move to make. Instead, during all of those rants, all of that BS, he was nowhere to be seen, never said a thing about it. There's no way I'm going to let my wife go out bad like that. I don't care what the situation is. I'm not going to let you go on the internet and rant for days talking to yourself unless you want her to ruin her image and you want to break her down, or you are already in the process of breaking her down, and this is a result of that. She's never seen out. He was nowhere there to defend her, say she's going, like, he was just nowhere to be seen during the time that she was flipping out. And she's no longer around people. The first thing abusers do is separate you from people.
My mother is that 16-year-old victim who was raped by Kenneth Petty, which is Nicki Minaj's husband as of currently. I want to.
So I think the biggest reason why Nicki Minaj is having her breakdown, downfall moment is that she believes that she can do anything, which is even redeem a sexual offender and a murderer. Now I know she's not from America, but the way things work here, that's always gonna pop up on your record. Like I literally typed in his name and it's up here. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no matter where he goes, he's always going to be a convicted sex offender. Now, from the jump, I remember this story breaking out, and I remember Jennifer created a video where she faced it downward to like her bed so that no one could see her face, and she was just saying she doesn't want any parts of this conversation about Kenneth Petty when they first got married. You know how some of the Nicki Minaj stands can be like, oh, this person is lying. It's even on Twitter currently where people are talking about victims are lying and forget Megan's Law. Are you kidding me? So essentially, she had like these screenshots of things that she had to write down when she had an alleged conversation with Nicki Minaj. When she had that conversation, she was saying that she was there when Nicki offered her mother 100K to just basically say that this never happened. She lied. And that there were a lot of numbers involved as far as money being offered, but it was never offered from Nicki or Kenneth personally. It was the people speaking on behalf of Kenny or like one of their little friends. And this all stems from when Jennifer was attacked back in September 16th, 1994. Jennifer went on to explain that Kenneth indeed did what he did and that these are the evidence right here. She said it was like any normal day when she was going to school. Kenneth asked where she was going when she was at a bus stop. And she said, I'm going to school. And he was like, oh, me too. And she was like, he's been a bum. He's never really gone to school, never seen him go to school, but whatever. They were talking and walking, and he somehow lured her into his home. Like, you know, when people are like, oh, I'm about to go to school, but hold on, you know, come with me. You can sit on the couch. That's just what I'm imagining. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, no means no. And even if this was consensual, which it was not, how do you explain all of these marks and bruises? Super uncalled for. This woman deserves the utmost respect because I know this isn't easy for someone who didn't want to be out in the limelight but was kind of forced out there. You can even see some of her bruising like on her face. Like, what? You know, no. So anybody that's going to stick up for a man who's constantly been in and out of prison or jail, you just can't trust them. Period. I highly recommend that she go back to Trinidad and enjoy Carnival and take a break and leave her man at home because he has single-handedly made you look like a fool.
Nicki Minaj being abused by her husband, Kenneth Petty. Let's talk about it. Now, I made a video about Nicki. She just did a live the other day and she appeared to be high, incoherent, slurring her words, nodding off. And it was a bit concerning to a lot of people. Okay, so I want to say right now, I'm going to make this disclaimer. I do not condone what Nicki did to Megan or her followers, attacking, being aggressive, vile, making threats towards her, Megan, her deceased mother's gravesite. I don't condone none of that. I actually was so turned off by it. I deleted all of Nicki's music out of my iTunes. As someone that looked up to Nicki as a woman of power, I admired her. I loved her music. I think she's incredibly talented and brilliant. And she's definitely paved the way for young artists, female artists. However, this behavior as of recent, the lashing out, the vile attacks, I don't care how mad. Hip hop is a competitive sport, but there's just some things that you just don't do, honey. And yes, Megan made a rap, but she didn't call your name out. You should have stayed silent and just kept everything on record. But the fact that Nicki spiraled and she went on that 3-day rant, and now we're watching her on live, high as a kite, slurring her words, nodding off, incoherent. I honestly believe this is a sign of a battered woman. I believe that Nicki Minaj is being abused and battered by her husband, and I will explain why. One of the things that I asked when I saw that video of her on her live the other night and she appeared high, the first thing that I said is, where is her PR team? Where are her friends? Where are her family? Why are her people allowing her to make a fool of herself every time she goes live and she's high as a kite? Y'all, her fans will make excuses for her. Oh, she gets high. She's doing Percocets. She smokes weed. Let me explain something. There are young girls that look up to Nicki Minaj. There are young teenage girls. There's young women that do not need to see her like that. Now, if she wants to get high on her own time, fine. Do it behind closed doors in the privacy of your home. But to jump on a live and appear incoherent and slurring your words and nodding off. You got young girls looking up to you as this powerful female figure that uplifts women. No. Where is Nicki's PR team? Where are her friends and family? Why are they allowing her to make a fool out of herself? Why won't somebody take her phone to prevent her from making a fool out of herself to the public eye? I'll tell you why. It's that motherfucking husband of hers. If you know the signs of an abuser, you know he will immediately isolate you from your loved ones. This is why Nicki has nobody around her to like stop her from making a fool out of herself. He's watching her make a fool out of herself. He's in control of her. He's laughing at her. And I guarantee he has side chicks. His side chicks is laughing. This is what abusive men do. They isolate you and pull you away from anyone that can knock some sense into your head. Kenneth Petty is abusing Nicki. And Nicki, what we're watching Nicki do is act out. Her behavior says, I'm not in control of my life because this abusive man is controlling everything about me. I'm crashing. I'm trying to escape pain, which explains why she might be popping perks and smoking weed. He's driving her crazy. He's put her in this state of depression. She doesn't know who she is. She's lost sight of who she was. This incredibly empowered woman that empowered so many women. He's destroying her. I know the signs of a woman in an abusive relationship. Nicki Minaj is being abused by her husband. I see it. Anyone with a high level of discernment can see it. Nicki, go get you a top-notch divorce lawyer. Plan your exit strategy in silence. Move in silence. Don't share it with nobody because your husband is dangerous. And the ideal of him losing control over you to a divorce, he's going to go off. He may hurt you and your child, okay? You don't believe me, Nicki? Listen, do a psychiatric evaluation. If you don't have his paperwork, find out what his diagnosis is. If he's a sociopath or psychopath, he will harm you and your child, okay? Divorce that man, Nicki. I know you love him. Y'all are childhood friends, whatever, but he is destroying your career. He got you isolated from your loved ones. He got you out here making yourself look like a fool. I'm sure there's side chicks. He got himself in trouble in the streets, you know, acting all rough and tough with Offset. He's a liability, honey. He's a liability. You've worked too hard for everything that you've had in life. So many women look up to you. You have an opportunity, Nicki, to leave this nigga, divorce him. The next 18, you got a baby, you have a son. You can't take this nigga nowhere with you. All the potential memories. Do you actually want to hide your child behind closed doors, all the birthday parties and everything because of that nigga? All the things, all the experiences and memories you have yet to experience with your son, and you got to hide the shit because of this nigga. You're lashing out at rappers, at women. We know this is not you, Nicki. We know this is not you. It's that nigga. We know, girl. We all done been in abusive relationships. You are in a relationship with a narcissist, a sociopath shit. He may be a psychopath. He's on the sex offender registry, and this is no shade, honey. But men like that will harm women. They will harm their wives. They will unalive their wives and children. I know you see these stories on the news every day. Them type of men that will unalive their wife and children, they're psychopaths. So I don't know if you know the evaluation, the mental health history on your husband, his psychiatric workup. Can you find that information out from his prison? Where did he go to prison? Because I'm sure they assessed him in prison. You got married to a very dangerous man, honey, and he is very strategically destroying your life and everything you worked hard for. We know the signs of a woman that's being abused in her marriage. Nicki, do you know you can make the greatest comeback, girl? Divorce that nigga. Put yourself in rehab. Disappear off the grid for a while, and you write the greatest comeback album. Write a Grammy-worthy album. All your stuff is top of the line. I do believe you got snubbed over the Grammys. But this time around, girl, make an incredible album that will empower women to stay away from abusive men. It's okay, girl. We all done fell for an abusive man. We all done been in toxic relationships. You have the power to turn this situation around in your favor and come out on top and make all these young female rappers look up to you and idolize you and respect you for leaving that toxic nigga. Get yourself together, Nicki. We know it's that nigga. We know it's your husband. We know, girl. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Get rid of his ass and watch how you come back. Watch how magnificent your comeback will be. I want the old Nicki Minaj back. This is not the Nicki, girl, this is not the Nicki Minaj that I grew to love. I'm sorry. That man is ruining you and your legacy. I said what I said. And somebody around you needs to be honest with you. I don't know if your fans can tell that you're in an abusive relationship. Somebody needs to be honest with you. Do not let no man fuck your shit up and everything that you worked hard for. God bless you, Nicki. I hope you do the right thing.
And the rumors are true. Nicki Minaj is single. She is no longer with her husband after defending him through thick and thin. This is what she said.
Not with some person in my face all day, but having a secret life and a sneaky life behind my back.
Wow. Wow.
And if you've ever felt love and then it left, let it. Because there's something way more beautiful waiting in store for you.
Yeah, that's what she said in her concert.
And then one day, they're yelling, push. Congratulations to every mama out there.
Wow.
You're doing a great job.
Yep.
In case no one's told you that, you're doing a great job.
Someone who grew up in a household who have seen stuff like that, and I'm not saying that her mother stays because you never know what her situation was. Maybe she couldn't leave. Maybe she was stuck in the situation because once you have children, it's usually 10 times harder for you to just walk away, right? But she experienced that with growing up and watching her father, abuse her mother. And she also said that she would never go through that. She promised herself that she would never go through that until she wake up one day and she was being abused. And word on the street is there's evidence that she was being abused by her previous boyfriends, allegedly. We don't know which previous boyfriend, but she was being abused. And you would think, as someone who is the Nicki Minaj, a woman like herself who has all this wealth and fame, you would think she would be exempt from that. But no, no one is exempt from that. It really all depends on the person that you pick to be with. Now, she grew up around that, seeing her father, abusing her mother, but also her own brother, which she wrote a letter to the court to try to get her brother exempt from going to jail. He also did the same thing, allegedly, to his ex-wife's child, which was underage. Now, I am saying allegedly, but this man is in jail for that purpose. And then she turned around and married someone who was okay doing something like that to a young woman. Yeah, they were both young, but at the end of the day, too, you have to have morals. There's certain stuff that you just do not do, right? But she married a man whose name is practically Petty, or Zoo Petty, which represents all the animals like Jaguar says, and the Zoo Petty, sir. And he is someone who enjoys, you know, taking what he wants from women at weapon point, right? So that's the word on the streets, allegedly. But you decide to marry this person and have a child with them, even though you know that they were like that. And for me, no one ever changed, right? They change behavior. Well, not they change location. They can change their name, but they never change. Their character never changed. And even though her fan and basically the entire world was telling her she was making a mistake, but I believe they got together because he was able to supply her what she needed, which is the that white substance. And since she doesn't really trust the environment that she's in, being a celebrity, a lot of celebrities don't trust the people around them. So because he was her childhood boyfriend, she felt like she could trust him. But as someone who was once in jail, not me, but him, someone who just came out of jail and went to jail for that kind of reason, I believe this man is not going to change. As a matter of fact, he's going to be worse than when he went in. But she decided to marry this man, not saying that it's okay and she deserved all the abuse, but I do believe she is going through abuse because nobody put that kind of video out. I mean, she looked like she was falling asleep mid-sentence. Everything she was saying, she looked like she was out of it. She was dazed out. Alcohol don't do that. Unless you're like blacked out drunk, alcohol don't do that. And from what the word in the streets are saying, she has been dealing with this for a really, really long time. And I believe she found someone who could be her supplier And also, I believe she's okay with, certain stuff that happened because she was basically trying to get her brother out of jail by writing a letter to the judge, because a lot of celebrities think that because of their status, they can get whatever they want. But that wasn't the case. And now that letter came out, and now people know that you were trying to defend your brother, and then you turn around and marry someone who is like that and then have a child with them. And on top of that, this man is not working. The reason for him not working is so he can take care of that said child, right? And as someone who doesn't have children, I don't like to speak on children, but it's not hard to think that, someone who does that to young children could possibly do it to their own kids, because this is not something that's new. People do it all the time, every single day, all over the world. They abuse their own child or their own children. So it's not something that is far-fetched. It's not something that also is out there saying that he has done it to her son. But what if you just never know, because if you already have that kind of behavior pattern, well, people don't just wake up one day and just change, right? So this is all alleged, but I do think Nicki Minaj is either not withdrawing, detoxing, because it's giving, we're going through a detox, like we're detoxing from it. I think people in her life definitely stepped up and said enough is enough, and they have seen something going on. And then probably while she was going through one of her episodes, getting and all, she decided to post that she was single, and then turn around and post a video of her and her husband and her child getting on a private jet, try to, stop the whole situation. But the damage was already done. I think she posted that while she was still very high, but the damage was already done when she decided to post a video of them still looking like a happy family, because on the internet, honey, everybody could be happy. I will show you the best side of my life as long as I have to. You know what I mean? But are we really happy in real life? They don't even live in the same house anymore. Allegedly. They don't live in the same house anymore because this man have been cheating on her, allegedly, with a lot of people. And her first house that she purchased, so she ended up moving out and buying a bigger home. So she left that house for him so he could have a free home to bring all the animals that he need and that zoo. I do hope she find the help that she need. I do hope she stop whatever it is that she's doing, because she is self-sabotaging. Imagine being so wealthy and having a beautiful son, and for you to be going through that only because you're with someone who is abusive. I hope my video don't get demonetized because of that word, but it's the truth. Anyways, all of this in this video is alleged. That is only my opinion. So don't come for me, Barbs. Don't come for me, Nicki fan. Anyways, that's it, guys. Talk to you later.